I noticed that every time I passed a train station, I'd see the same old lady. Even when the train was speeding along at high velocity, that old lady would appear outside the window. She seemed to be trying to warn me about something. After getting off the train, I walked a few steps toward her, but the old lady backed away a bit. I awkwardly told her to stay put, but no matter how I tried to approach her, she always kept a certain distance from me. I felt pretty helpless. I got the feeling this old lady was just messing with me, so I turned around and walked away. But when I reached the other side of the cliff, the old lady appeared again on the opposite hillside. I tried to get away from her, but she would always show up in my field of vision, constantly maintaining that same distance. Just when I was about to lose it completely, a woman hiker happened to pass by. I quickly called out to her and told her that an old lady had been following me around. I asked if she could help by going up to her and asking what she wanted. The kind woman agreed right away. After all, in this freezing weather, the old lady might be in some kind of trouble. But when the woman walked up to her, something weird happened. The old lady seemed to say something to her, and the woman's face instantly went white. She turned to look at me and then fled in absolute terror. This freaked me out so much that I took off running too. Were they working together to scare me or something? When I got to town, the old lady was still right behind me like my shadow. I even started wondering if this whole thing was just in my head. I went into a motel looking for help, hoping someone could check outside and see if there really was an old lady out there. The motel owner said he could see her. On such a cold day, she must be freezing to death, so everyone suggested inviting her inside to warm up. But when the owner went outside, the old lady said something to him too. Just like the woman on the mountain, he looked at me in horror and then ran away like a maniac. This scared me so badly I didn't dare leave the motel. But the old lady outside waited for me day and night without leaving. I had no choice but to hunker down and stay at the motel, too afraid to go out. I hadn't even been there 3 days when the owner's wife tried to kick me out by force, because after the owner saw the old lady that night, he never came back. It was like he'd vanished off the face of the earth. I had no other option, so I reached out to my mother, hoping she could help me figure out what the old lady was actually saying. As long as we stayed on the phone while my mother walked up to the old lady, I'd be able to hear what she was saying too. Since my mother was the person I trusted most, she definitely wouldn't fall for whatever the old lady was trying to pull. But as my mother got closer to the old lady, the voice on the phone became more and more garbled. Eventually, all I could hear was completely unintelligible static. I realized something terrible was happening and yelled for my mother to cover her ears, but it was too late. My mother, just like everyone else, was bewitched by the old lady. She looked at me in terror and then took off running. By the time I chased her to the street corner, I saw that my mother had already gotten into a taxi. She stared at me with complete disgust and left without any mercy.